2.2 exploring Python. You can see right now I have Replit open. If you don't have a Replit account yet, make sure to do that. All right, so you can see there are two sides to Replit. There is the code editor side, which is right here where my mouse is moving, and then there is the console or the command line side that you can see on the right. So the code editor, let's say I start with an input example, is where you start typing in your code, you hit run up here, and the command line is where you start entering in input that the code asks for. And then when you enter the input, like it said, please input what is your name, and then it printed, hi, blank, name, right? So there you can see that. So this print is called a call, and the input is called a call. You're going to need that in order to actually make your make it work. So one of the first things that it asks you to do is try expressions. So you probably saw in there that it said something like type 5 plus 3. Well, that doesn't work. You can see how it doesn't actually have anything to go on in there. What you actually want to do is say print 5 times 3. Because you're just telling the computer 5 plus 3. You weren't actually telling it to do anything with it. So computers are very literal. You actually need to tell it to do something with it. So by saying print, you're asking it to communicate with us what 5 plus 3 is. And there you go. It is 8. So the lesson that it is asking for print 23 to the, see, and now I have two asterisks. That means I'm going to a power. 23 to the 43rd power. You're going to hit run, and then you'll get the answer right here, and that's the answer for 6B in your code. So the next thing it's going to ask you is to get an error. So let's go ahead and delete that, and this time it's asking for 5 divided by 0. So you're asking it to print and let us know what 5 divided by 0 is. What is 5 divided by 0? Now this is going to create an error. You'll see right here that there is the error. So it will usually let you know if there is a syntax error or a math error, because Python is specifically run only on logic. I'm going to clear that and clear this. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is it's asking for us to take a look at what is a string and what is an integer. So I've run a couple things. It doesn't do anything because we're not actually telling it to do anything. We're saying that there is this, and we're saying that there is that, but we're not actually telling it to do anything with it, so it's not going to do anything with it. But we could I did that wrong. You always want to make sure you have your parentheses and everything together. So this is straight out of the notes. You probably entered this in and it still said nothing. But what happens if we ask it to print and we add the parentheses? There we have it. So again, you can't just have an expression saying, hey, this is a string, this is the integer, and then this is what I want you to do with it, without saying, no, this is actually what I want you to do with it. You need to actually hit print. So that is a lot of things that you're missing in this. All right. Let's go ahead and delete that. And so I'm giving you some of the answers, but I'm not giving you all of the answers because I want you to try this on your own. All right. So a variable. So it doesn't know what months per year is. It doesn't understand this. We are saying months per year, though, equals 12. Oops, that's a little much. So we're saying months per year equals 12. We are telling the computer what the variable is. And honestly, spaces don't matter. You can have them, you don't have to have them. It's up to you. So now we are saying, hey Python, remember that months per year equals 12. We're not actually telling it to do anything with this variable. But if we say print months per year, now you can see that it says 12, because the computer knows that when we're asking for months per year, we're asking for 12. So that's what we mean. We have defined this variable as 12. We have asked it to communicate with us what that is, and it gets us 12. So here we can take a look at what do these things do. If we say a equals 2, and we do a2, and then we do print print a2. Now what I want you to see is what is happening here. So it says 2. Well, I'm letting you know right now that printing, if you say a equals 2 this way, like line a and 1 and 2, it will error. It will say that a is not defined. So you can't just have a2 is separately spaced. You actually have to say a equals 2, and then it will say that is 2. This 2 down here also does nothing. You don't have to remind it that a equals 2. It already knows. So if I hit run again, there it is. There is 2. So let's say we're making a list. Let's say our variable is vowels. And vowels is equal to a list of A, E, I, O, U. So you want to define it as A, comma, E, comma, I, comma. Commas are really important because it defines the list. There we go. See, I don't have a comma between U and O, so it's not going to read it. So I want to make sure I put a comma. So here I have vowels A, E, I, O, U. And I would actually like it to print, and I'm going to tell it what to print. I want it to print vowels. Make sure you spell it correctly, or at least spell it the same as you did earlier. Vowels 2. So what is vowel 2? Well, vowel tool is actually I. Why is vowel tool I? Sorry. Because it starts at 0. A is, let me zoom in here for you. A is actually 0. And don't type this in, but A is 0. It's the very start. And then IE is the first one, second one, third one, fourth one. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I asked it to print 0, it would actually print, oops, A. So now I'm asking it to print 2 and 0, I and A. You could also ask it to print 0 through 3, and I'll remove it saying to print 2, and you would get AEI, because I have asked it to print 0 through 3. And then there's 0 through 5. All right, so that's how you can make it print a list and understand that the range of the output is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. It does not start on 1. So that was number 10. Number 11 asks you to produce I for range. So it's asking for I in range of 100. This time a colon is really important And then you want to tab in. And you want to tab in and say print I. So you want to actually try that out, hit run, and then whatever code you get here, that's what you're going to get for 2.22 for number 11. And you can see what happened there. So on to number 12. Number 12 is to show you how important it is to tab in. So now for item, an item is our variable, and our variable is in 1, 3, 5, 7. You're asking it to tab print item. Tab print item 2 through 1. Print, oops, my bad. Gotta have your parentheses after print. So we're going to see what all of this does, and I'm going to explain. Make sure I get my commas. I don't really think you need commas on this one. All right. So now I'm going to hit run. And yeah, there's definitely a syntax error because it's letting me know that I forgot a colon. And it's actually telling me exactly where I forgot the colon. That's where this red arrow is. There you are, and hit run. And now you'll see something happened. So it's repeating. It says print item. And then you can see that these three things repeated right there. But you are great only happened once. However, if we change that and we tab it in, now it's connected. You can see there's a physical line here that shows you that it's connected to code line on 1. And now if I hit run, it repeats you are great. This is why blocking is really important. So anything tabbed in relies on the code above it that isn't tabbed in. If you do not tab it in, it does no longer rely on that code above it, and you can see we even break that line here. So tabbing is really important in order for the code to rely on the previous code. All right, so the next thing it's going to ask you to do is in 13, it's going to ask you to find the average time of a song. And there's a way you can leave a comment, and this is a really good way to leave your name in a screenshot. There's actually a couple ways to leave a comment. You can do some, you might call them hashtags. We can call them number signs. So find the average time of some songs. This lets me know to the human who's reading my code what my code is supposed to do. And now we're going to input the song times. So the variable of the song times is equal to 183 seconds, 172 seconds, 280, 185, and 193. So this is in seconds. Again, the little num sign or the hashtag is just a comment to the human reader, not to the computer. The total time equals 0. This is what we're going to start. This is its initialize. And then for song time in song times. So notice I have a singular, this is song time, and this is song times, plural. Those are two different variables. I'm going to have it print And we got to have the parentheses in print. Song time. Song. And then it's going to print the word song time, because that's what those quotes mean. That means it's human language. And then we're going to ask it to print the variable singular song time. And the total time is equal to total time plus song time. This is the accumulation of a total. And then number equals len. And len is its own memorized code. The mean of the time equals 1 times total. So it's a lot of numbers. Python is a lot of math because it's logic based. So we're going to use the total as a float. We're going to print mean song time. Oh, we forgot the parentheses in print. So hopefully we've given it all the logic it needs. So I'm just going to double check my code. And hit run. And now it lists out the song times for us and gives us the mean, like the mean average of those song times of 2026. So this is a lot of math and logic. And if you understand calculating means and averages, this shouldn't be too difficult. But again, if you still struggle with math or need any help, you can message me on Schoology, or you can message me on email. The last one is C1b, and this is going to be practice for creating a loop. So we just talked about the repeating. So for index in range of 5, so we're gonna repeat index 5 times. We are gonna print what we're repeating 5 times is we're gonna print this will print 5 times. So now we're printing 5 times, but we're not saying what the index is. Let's go ahead and print index. So now all of this is relying on this one thing. So this is going to be a range of 5. It's going to print that index, and in between that, it's going to print our phrase. But now we don't want it to rely on that code anymore, so we're going to tab back, and we're going to say this is going to print this. Oh, gotta have my colon. This will print 1 time, and I want to let it know it's a phrase. So you notice how it recognized the word print, but as soon as I put these apostrophes on each side, it no longer recognizes it a code, it's recognizing it as something I want to just say. So this will print 1 time. And this time I'm going to print index. Again, needing to have those colons around there. So just another important reason why blocking is very important. So you can see we're printing the range of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a 5 index. Remember, it starts on 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is an index of 5. It's printed 5 times. This is the first time, the first loop, the second loop, the third loop. And that is everything you need to know for Python 2.2.2.